Only because it was Dallas. And he would have been mad. That's what he started it out with, Scott said. The meeting tonight is for the conduct of town business by the town board. The public is invited to participate at the items marked on the agenda, public comment. During that segment of the meeting, if you have a question or comment for the supervisor, please raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged. Please state your full name and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation.
Thank you, and this is the September 12th meeting, first meeting in the month, and can we please rise for the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's have a moment of silence, please, for a couple of our citizens of the town of Marlborough that passed away recently, that were pillars of our community, contributed much to our community, and made us what the community we are. And that's Frank DeMarco, John Nicklin, Josephine Zuno. Let's have a moment of silence for them, please. I'd also like to say for our 9/11 families, first responders, and all those who lost their lives, a moment of silence for them 21 years ago on the tragedy yesterday. Thank you. Okay, before we approve the agenda, guys, I got to add 2 more things for new business. I need to add item D, bid on the park baseball fence, and I need to add letter E, bid for blacktop at the town park. So I'd like to add, I'm going to make a motion to add those. I just need a second to add D and E to new business.
I'll second.
All in favor? Thank you. So I'd like the motion to approve the agenda as amended. Need a motion?
I'll make that motion.
A second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Item number 4 is a motion to approve the August 22nd, 2022 town board meeting minutes. I need a motion for that.
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. I need a motion to approve the August 22nd, 2022 public hearing, Chapter 155 minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Need a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Motion to approve the August 22nd, 22 public hearing on Chapter 134-2 minutes.
I'll make that motion also.
In a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved. And then item number 5, authorize the payment of bills, and the abstract is $508,000, $508,519.19. And if you guys, I'm sure looked through the bills. A big part of that is from the highway side, $400,000. We got a front end loader replaced, finally came in, and we got the one of the international trucks, plow trucks came in. So a big part of that was that. So I need a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, item number 6, any comments on the agenda? No comments. We got no. Item number 7 is presentations, which we have none, so I'm going to go right into reports. My report, supervisor's report, 2022, attended the annual senior picnic hosted by the Marlborough Milton Lions Club, which went very well this year, perfect weather. Mostly all the board members were there, so I think we all had a great time. Attended the annual Unico Tomato Contest dinner and event at Ben Merrill Winery. Again, another great event. Unico always puts on a great event. And Dave, what you guys got the Oktoberfest coming up?
October 2nd.
October 2nd. So if anybody's interested, get a hold of one of the Unico members, and they could get you tickets. They always do a great event up at the Ben Marlborough. Met with Water Superintendent Charlie Maggio, Highway Superintendent John Alongi, Councilman Zambito at Orange and Orchard Street in the Hamlin and Marlborough to address sewer and water hookups issues with a resident, which hopefully we're coming to an end on. So we've had many discussions about that. Met with Eric DeSalt from American Cruise Line to discuss the needs of improvements at the Milton Landing Pier in preparation of the first docking on September 28th. Attendees were Gail Appler Jr., Councilman Zambito, John Alongi, Gary Lazaroff, Charlie Maggio, and Tom Corcoran. So we met down there for the preliminary meeting on with their guys and how they're going to dock and what they need to dock and what we have to get them to the dock and so forth and so on. So that will be on the agenda for tonight. Met with Travelers Insurance Fire investigators from Kinsley Fire Investigations at the Milton Landing Pier with Deputy Supervisor Appler and Chief Kokoza and Building Inspector Tom Corcoran. They inspected the damage, took pictures, reported back to our insurance company and their assessment of the fire damage. Obviously, everybody knows the North Pier caught on fire. It was in the paper, and we're in the process of going through our insurance. And then Brandy met with Brandy Nelson and Gail Appler Jr. at the Milton Landing North Pier to inspect the pier after the fire damage to North Pier. Ms. Nelson will be sending her evaluation report to the insurance company on the fire damage of the pier. So the insurance company comes, then our engineer comes, and on the agenda tonight is Brandy Nelson's Titan Bombs engineering estimate for this project, which will be covered by the insurance company. Met with Phil Bell to go over the final contracts and schedule for Tomback renovation project. We have all the contracts in hand. They're mobilizing. I would have hoped they would have started this week, but it looks like it could be another week or so before they start doing stuff. So we're getting there, but they're moving forward. Met with Herb Litz from GPI Engineering and Construction Service to discuss the preliminary service requested for the development of the conceptual plan and renovations at the highway building at 1650 Route 9W. We've met a few times at the highway building already with multiple town employees, giving a lot of input. They've had their architects there, their engineers there. They've done all this work already so far pro bono. I think we've met them at least 3 or 4 times there. But we're at the stage now, if the board so chooses to move forward on getting this conceptual plan, we have to vote on that tonight, and we'll bring that up. Attended the Milton Engine Fire Company's annual lobster bake at the Milton Firehouse. Again, another great event. So this is one of those months that we have a lot of good events going on, and next month's going to carry over to more events going on. So it's a great time of the year. So met with Jeff Miller from the Thomas O. Miller Company and Chief Kokoza to discuss the annual Community Day supplies needed for the event on September 17th. So everybody knows September 17th, this Saturday, is Marlborough Community Day at the Clutchance Park from 11 to 3. We met with Thomas O. Miller, and they're going to donate their cooler truck again this year for us. Thanks to Tom Corcoran, who went down. I wrote a letter, and Tom delivered it to Jeff, and they were more than happy to donate the refrigeration truck, which helps us out during the event. Held police department interviews for new candidates, part-time officers with Councilman Molinelli, and those officers will be on the agenda tonight for hire. I would have to say, I'm sure Eddie will agree, they were very, very good candidates, very young, made me feel old, but made Eddie feel older, but they're very good candidates, very good candidates. Met with the Marlborough Milton Senior Citizens Group at the Presbyterian Church Hall with Councilman Zambito. We answered many questions for the seniors on what's happening and what will be happening in the town of Marlborough. I think the seniors enjoyed it, right, Dave? They like to be informed, so try to go there every so often. Held a county gateway meeting with the developers of Dockside Property, Layton Property. Attendees were Dennis Doyle, Rob Leibowitz from Ulster County Planning, Mike Bading from Ulster County Planning Board, Steve Jennison and Bobby Tronsolito from the Town of Marlborough Planning Board, Town Attorney Jerry Camanos, Planning Board Engineer Pat Hines, John Riley from the New York State DOT, Scott Layton, and Ron Cypress from Layton Property. So a few months back, we had a town gateway meeting. This is the county gateway meeting. The county does need to be involved in this project. DOT needs to be involved in this project, so this was the preliminary meeting for the applicant and their representation to answer, to ask questions to the county and get some feedback before they come to the planning board to start their process. Went very well. Met with Bob Pollock, Mike McCormick, and Bob Wilson, discussed the timeline of the construction of the Milton Hamlet project by Mr. Pollock. This is the Main Street project. They're being held up right now basically by a signature. Once they get a signature on a document, they could start moving forward on the building. Met with all the department heads of the town to discuss what we have accomplished to date and what projects need to be completed by year end. We had conversations about budget time, and each department head should be prepared by September 15th, which is this week, to start budget discussions. So had a good department meeting, and we're moving forward, and thanks for everybody. That's my report for the month. And the reports, where are my reports? Tom is up.
Building Inspector, Building Department Report, August 2022. Certificate of Occupancy 4, Request for Information 18, Trailer Park Renewals 1, Building Extensions 11, Fire Inspections 8, Orders to Remedy 12, Complaints 31, Burn Permits issued 4, Building Permits 4 additions, 1 barn, 4 burn permits, 1 carport, 2 decks, 2 demos, 4 electrical, 1 generator, 5 pools, 3 roofs, 4 sheds, 3 single-family homes, 4 solar panels, 3 tank installations. Total permits 41 for an estimated cost of building $1,142,729. Income for the month, certificate of occupancy 600, permit extensions 3983.20 cents, building permits $9,265.22, request for information 3,600, fire inspections 550, trailer park renewals 200, and burn fees $15 for a total income of $18,213.42. Total miles 1650, total gas usage 117 gallons. Burn ban was lifted on Friday for now, so we lifted it with the county in lieu of all the rain we've had. A lot of rain, it was enough to lift the ban for now. If need be, we'll put that back on, but as of now, the burn ban is lifted.
Yep. Thank you. Any guys got any questions for Tom? Nothing? Thanks, Tom.
Yep.
Just text me scores.
And Jerry's up.
Monthly report for the month of August 2022 from the Police Department. Motor vehicle accidents, personal injury 1, fatal 0, property damage accidents 18 for a total of 19 for the month. Summonses issued, vehicle and traffic 59 with 0 parking tickets issued. Complaint activity, total blotter entries 942. 16 total arrests for the month. Telephone calls handled 1,756 calls. There was no overtime for dispatchers, either part-time or full-time. Full-time and part-time officers is attached. Police mileage, 14,812 miles with a fuel consumption of 976.097 gallons. You guys don't have the actual fuel consumption on your report because they were doing a server upgrade before I left and I couldn't get it till today. So that's 976.097 is the number. We are over budget on fuel, so.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. So the guys have been doing their best to cut down the fuel consumption. I just don't really think it's going to make that much of a difference in our consumption, but we are cognizant of it, and we're doing the best we can with where we are with that. September 17th, everybody's well aware of, is our Community Day. Hope to see everybody there, everybody in the audience. It should be a good time. I think everything's ready. So yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, Jerry, they do a great job. You know, so you got the same. We got the bouncy house again, right?
Yep, we have the bouncy house.
Popcorn.
Cotton candy, popcorn. We'll have hot dogs and hamburgers, chips and water. We will have giveaway prizes. Don't quote me, but we're working on a TV and an iPad. TV for the adults, iPad for the kids. plus some other little giveaways that we got donated to us. The PBA is taking care of the larger prizes. So it'll be a raffle ticket type thing, and we'll draw it at the end. K104 is going to be there. I do believe Shamrock Shows is going to be there with our slide. We will have a helicopter courtesy of the DEP and Chief Malazzo. And, the highway will be there. We'll be there with all our stuff.
It's going to be good.
The county will be there. It'll be great. That's
Yeah,
all it is.
so like if the new board members don't remember, we started this tradition
2014
2014 when we moved here
as an open house.
as an open house. And so now it's carried over as a community day for the community every year, and the PBA contributes to it, the firehouse contributes to it, and then the town contributes to it. And it's been a wonderful event. That's been a great tradition, so something you give back. And then the people could come and talk to the people that work for the town, right? And see what their tax dollars are giving them. So that's what I think is a great thing. So thanks, Jerry, for doing that.
Last two items, just to give the board an update.
Yes.
A few years ago, before Senator Larkin passed, we got a grant for a vehicle. When Senator Skoufis took over, he continued that grant for us, and we had ordered a vehicle, and it finally came in a few weeks ago. So it's a 2022 Dodge pickup truck. It is out being retrofitted now with lights and all the goodies so that we can use a patrol car. That should be in service within the next 2 weeks, I would imagine. As soon as we can get that in service, we'll be able to submit for the return of the money up to $50,000. So I'm looking forward to that. Last item that I have is due to our efforts on DWI, the state recognized those efforts and donated to us through the traffic safety program our own intoxilizer to add to our fleet of tools to use when we do DWI stuff. That's a roadside breath analysis, which is very nice. We have a few of them that we get through the county that they lend us, but this one is actually department property. They donated it to us.
Very good.
So thank you, Officer Merrick, for his hard efforts, because he's the main man that digs those numbers, and the state recognized it, and kudos to him. That's all I have.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate it. Charlie, nope, John Alongi's up first. I'm sorry. And John's not here. Charity, you want to read John's?
Sure. Oh boy, I'm still scrolling, hang on. Okay. Highway Superintendent Monthly Report for August 2022. This month we blacktopped swales on Highland Avenue and Breezy Heights. Also, repairs were made to the swale on Dock Road in Marlborough, along with replacing 40 feet of driveway pipe at the sewer plant. We spent 3 days completing the application of topsoil and millings along the shoulders of the newly paved roads. We installed 240 feet by 15 inches and 20 feet by 12 inches ADS pipe on the South Street extension, along with 3 catch basins. We replaced 430 feet by 15-inch ADS pipe on the lower part of Bingham Road, along with 3 catch basins. On 8-8 and 8-9, we installed new electric service and new water fountains in both Long Pond and Round Pond. They look great, by the way. We also worked on several projects in the parks as requested by Supervisor Corcoran. On August 12th and August 31st, we assisted the Water Department with water main breaks on Hudson Terrace and South Street. We also assisted with installing new water taps on Grand Street and Ridge Road. Our mower was out finishing up the mowing for the season in both hamlets. On 8/16 and 8/17, we sent a man to the town of Ulster with our flail mower to assist them with their mowing project. Fuel usage was gas 72.403 gallons and diesel 1,251.959 gallons. Respectfully submitted, John Alongi.
Thank you. All right, Charlie, now you're up.
Monthly report for August. Our water consumption total was 18,319,000 gallons, which is a daily usage of 590,935. Compared to our last month, which was $1,308,000, which is a daily usage of $590,580. And compared to a year ago, our consumption was $16,987,000, which was a daily usage of $548,290. The summary for the month, billing. Bills went out in the beginning of the month. If there's any problems, feel free to give us a call. Curb boxes, we had to repair 2 curb boxes on Reservoir Road. Hydrants, we had to repair and rebuild a hydrant on North Road. Reservoir, we had to mow the reservoir and clean up of all garbage. Service lines, we had 2 service lines that had to be repaired, one on Jackson Avenue and one on White Street. We also performed new water service taps on South Street and Lyons Lane and Ridge Road with the help of the Highway Department. We had to turn off an abandoned 1-inch service line that was leaking on Hudson Terrace. With the town park, we helped with the highway with installing the aerators at the park. Water mains, we had to repair an 8-inch water main on Hudson Terrace with the help of the Highway Department. Sewer line inspections 2, service line inspections 2. Closings, we had 6, markouts 50. Gallons of gas, 250. Gallons of diesel, 35. And the mileage for the month, 1680.
Thank you, Charlie. I know you don't want to go up to Hudson Terrace anytime soon, I know. So Hudson Terrace, we had 2 different events happen, but these guys did an excellent job with the help of the Highway Department and getting it resolved as quickly as possible. So I appreciate it. I know John's going to back bill the Water Department, I'm sure, for a good amount, but that's how it works. But you guys did an excellent job, so thank you.
Thank you.
And you guys got any other questions for Charlie, or we're good? Thanks, Charlie. Appreciate it. And Ms. Corcoran, you're up. Tax season is coming.
Okay. Town Clerk Monthly Report for August 2022. Burn permits 1 for $70. Conservation 13 for $70.99. Dog licenses 16 for a total of $90. Water services 1 for $1,500. Punch cards 22 for $1,100. Marriage licenses 6 for $105. Building fees 1 for $18,828.07. Fire fees 1 for $365. Camp 1 for $300. Accident reports 10 for $50. Alarm permits 1 for $20. Certified copies 6 for $140. FOIL requests 2 for $7.25. Park fees 3 for $900. Peddler's license 1 for $250 for a grand total of $23,796.31.
Thank you. You guys got anything for Kyle? And you got anything else,
I just
Colleen?
want to say, I just want to remind the residents that I only collect property taxes, not school taxes. School taxes, you can come to the school to pay, but most people mail directly to Buffalo. But we do get a lot of phone calls, so their phone number is
Yep.
845-236-5800.
Yep, so this obviously is school tax season, and we share the building, and the first person they see is the town clerk, and they always try to go to her. We have signs everywhere. We get phone calls that even say on the message, but they still want to call the town clerk, so it is what it is. But you guys deal with it very well. Water quality management, Eddie, you want to read this? Can you see it?
Yeah, probably. September 9th.
Oh, now you can't. There you go.
For the month of August 2022, both the Marlborough and Milton wastewater treatment plants complied with all species requirements. The following are monthly statistics for both plants. Marlborough, average flow, daily flow, 76,000 gallons per day, about 43% of design capacity. Average BOD removal, 99%. Average suspended solids removal, 93%. Milton, average flow, 27,000 gallons per day, about 49% of design capacity. Average BOD removal, 99%. Average suspended solids removal, 99%. Both the Marlborough and Milton treatment plants operate normally during the month of August without any major changes or events. The results The results from mercury at Marlborough were 1.2 Ng/L. I believe we will not have any issues with meeting the 50 Ng/L limit in the future. During this month, the DEC conducted their annual inspection for both treatment plants. There were no issues during either inspection, but they have yet to receive their official report. We are still waiting on fleet pump and service for our EQ pump at Milton. They have reached out to apologize and just waiting on replacement parts from the manufacturer. Overall, both wastewater treatment plants are in good working order but are getting older. Need any additional information, please do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you, Julian Falco, Water Quality Management.
Thank you. Manny, you got the dog control report there?
Sure.
Thank you.
Town of Marlborough Dog Control, Andrew McGee. Monday, September 5th, August 2022 monthly report from 8/1 through 8/31, overview. We received a total of 21 calls this month, including 4 calls to service from the New York State Police and Ulster County Sheriff. Responded to 4 active complaints and/or cases which are now closed and resolved. We currently have 2 open cases or complaints, 2 impound dogs this month, no appearance tickets with issued this month. There were no dog bites reported this month. We have no dangerous dog cases in progress in Marlborough Justice Courts. If you own a dog, I strongly recommend that you invest time to learn the basic first aid and common medical emergency for dogs. Also, know who you can contact for medical emergency. Put this number on your phone and now where your closest emergency care facility is. End of report.
Okay, thank you very much. Planning Board. Planning Board review, August 2022. Applications fees $600, escrow fees $8,139.80, recreation fees $4,000. 2022 August invoices total $10,312.56. Meeting August 1st, 2022. Attendees Chris Brand, Steve Clark, Cindy Lanzetta, Joe LaFaro, Bobby Translito, James Garofalo, and Steve Jennison. Agenda Bayside 18 Birdsall Avenue, Marlborough public hearing site plan. The public hearing was open with a brief presentation from the applicant's blasting firm. Many neighboring residents expressed their concerns over the proposed blasting. The board agreed to require the applicant to provide pre- and post-blast surveys of surrounding properties to be completed by the independent third-party contractor. The applicant will return for a vote of approval to be prepared by Attorney Jeff Battistoni in accordance with the concerns raised at the public hearing. The public hearing was closed. Corrado Subdivision, Burma Road, Marlborough Final Subdivision. The board approved seeker negative declaration of notice of the termination of non-significance as well as a resolution of approval for the applicant. The board also approved $2,000 in recreation fees. Topsy Landscaping, 1943 Route 9W Milton sketch site plan. The applicant was asked to clarify his proposed site plan, including a complete narrative of use, landscaping plans, New York State DOT approvals, and lighting details. The project is required to be reviewed by the Ulster County Planning Board. River Vista Drive, Chris Corner, 9 River Vista Drive, Marlborough sketch lot line. The applicant submitted legal documentation of the created landlocked parcel, which will require additional review from the board's attorney. Discussions regarding private road specifications, driveway length, and ongoing legal reviews of this unique application were discussed. A public hearing was scheduled for September 19, 2022. The board also agreed to have the attorney draft a resolution of approval for the same meeting, barring any substantial input from the public. Romer Farms, James Street, Marlborough sketch lot line. The applicant proposed a lot line change which qualifies for the streamlined approval process. The board agreed to have the attorney draft a resolution of approval for the next meeting. Discussion without engineer, lawyer, or stenographer. The board was provided with an update from member Lanzetta and Garofalo, who attended the last meeting of the town board and discussed proposed changes to the town's STR and B&B laws. Next deadline, Friday, August 5th, 2022. Next scheduled meeting, Monday, August 15th, 2022. Meeting on August 15th, 2022. Attendees were Chris Brand, Steve Clark, Joe LaFaro, Bob Tronsolito, James Garofalo, and Steve Jennison. Agenda, approval of stenographer minutes from 7/18/2022. Approval for the above minutes was granted unanimously. Lighthouse Holdings, 131 Idlewild Road, Marlborough, public hearing, site plan. The public hearing was open and closed. Questions regarding the site's previous approval and the conditions adopted at that time were discussed. The board will complete additional research to clarify. Ulster County Health Department approval for the septic must be provided. Town of Marlborough Highway Superintendent comments regarding the driveway location must be received. The board agreed to have the attorney draft a resolution of approval for the next meeting. Jeff Aldridge, 132 Milton Turnpike, public hearing, site plan. The public hearing was open and closed with limited input from the public. The board agreed to have the attorney draft a resolution of approval for the next meeting. Roma Farms, James Street, Marlborough, final lot line. The applicant received approval via resolution and unanimous vote. Bayside, 18 Bursell Avenue, Marlborough, preliminary site plan. The applicant was required to provide an updated SWPP to mitigate dust on site. Maps depicting blasting areas should be received and reviewed by the board's engineer. The board also directed the applicant to provide an additional third party to complete post-blast surveys after information regarding the current pre-blasting survey company revealed a lack of transparency and independence. The board approved a secret negative declaration and notice of determination of non-significance, as well as a resolution of approval for the applicant and a vote of 4-2 on each. Next deadline, Friday, August 19, 2022. Next scheduled meeting, Monday, September 5th, 2022. Respectfully submitted, Chris Brand, Chairman, Town of Marlborough Planning Board. And if you didn't know, Bayside was starting blasting this week, so they've been working directly with the school district and that third-party inspector. They did pay all their escrow amounts that was required for that engineering. So they've been doing everything the planning board has asked them. So they're working hand in hand with the school. So which is our main concern. Obviously, the public surrounding there is also a concern, but the kids are in class now. But if you hear anything, that's what you're going to hear. So, and that's it for reports of committees. So now we're on reports of committees. Item number 9. Recreation Committee, Councilwoman Sessa, you got anything if you want to talk about?
I don't think there's anything too major from the Recreation Committee. Their scheduled meeting is actually tomorrow for September, but it's looking like that's going to get rescheduled for next week. The last meeting was in August, and the committee brainstormed for quite a few new programs to add to the docket for the next few months. I think the next one in the calendar will be the trunk or treat in October, but a few new fun things to come after that as well.
All right. Yep, October 29th, right, I believe? It's in the park this year, trunk or treat. Just so to follow up on Councilwoman Sessions, the committee talked about kind of switching each year. 1 year in Marlborough, 1 year in Milton, kind of with the trunk or treat, kind of what we do with the parade. So seems like a pretty good idea, so that's what we're doing this year. Emergency Management Preparedness Committee, we did have a meeting scheduled with Everett at the county, and he was coming down. We were going to update this whole thing, and then, you know, we had this huge fire up in the county, so obviously Everett was a little busy, so we had to reschedule. So we'll reschedule that meeting, and we'll hopefully get this finally updated by the end of this year. Conservation Advisory Committee, I have not got any further updates from them. The IT Committee, there's nothing on our docket right now except for we're going to start our budget meetings, and I'm sure Danny's going to talk about some security issues that he believes we're going to have to invest in. So the board, once we get those recommendations, we'll be sending that out to you. Milton Train Station Foundation, I have no update from them. Milton Land and Citizens Committee, I have nothing from them. Marlborough Hamlet Economic Development Committee, nothing from them. Meet Me in Marlborough. She seems to be like a week behind, so I'm sure I'll get it for next meeting. But they will be having their Bounty Fest coming up this year, so be ready for that. Hammett of the Milton Association Committee, nothing from them, and transfer station review. The only thing is we have one more load of tires that have to be removed this year, and we're trying to schedule that out with the third-party contractor and our highway department and Larry up at the transfer station. So hopefully we'll get that done by year's end. Item number 10 is old business, and that's Tomback rehabilitation update. Like I said, all contracts have been received. Everything is in place. Mobilization is starting, and WMD is the main construction, so they're the ones leading the pack, and all the other contractors will start their work based around their schedule. So we're waiting on WMD to actually submit a schedule of how they're going to proceed as they go through, and that's the main contractor. So once we get that, then they'll start. All right, so item number 11 is new business. So these are the agreements that I'm asking the board to sign tonight. GPI design service. So all the board members have this. Again, some like, some don't like. I mean, I don't like the number either. But we've been asked, and I actually asked John and the highway department and Charlie at the water department to give me what they would like to see happen at the highway building, because it's in major need of updating. It's the main building that is in the center of town that's been pieced together over, I don't know, 60 years, 70 years, whatever it's been. So it's actually like 3 or 4 different types of buildings connected together, and it looks like a mishmash on the 9W corridor. The exterior of the building is deteriorating. There's holes in it. The bricks are out of it. The roof has some leaks. Bathrooms are in really bad shape. So having said all that, as I discussed with the board members, we reached out to GPI, our engineering firm that we hired through our reorg, to get us an evaluation of what it would cost to get us a preliminary report. That report includes a lot of upfront engineering and architecture work. They'll give us a design plan. They come and they scale the whole building. We're going to get documentation of what the estimates of what it would cost to build out this building based on design plans that the highway department, myself, I believe Dave was there, the chief was there, a lot of input that was given on what we want to see there. Again, we're basing a lot of the design plan off the design plans that we put into our code, which is similar to Tomback, and we're kind of basing this building off of a lot of what we're seeing at Tomback, we're trying to put into this building. So we're having uniformity along the 9W corridor and taking a little pride in our buildings. Again, and this is a preliminary report and design in order for me, in order to go after grants and to go, we had our senator down here, we had our assemblyman down here, and the first thing they said, do you have a shovel-ready project ready to go? And I'm saying, no, that's what we're working on. So in order to get these grants, this is what we need to do. You guys read this all. Mark, you have all this information. Again, it's a task 1, task 2, task 3. These are over time. Why I'm comfortable with it, in our budget right now, we used to have about $20,000 in engineering design plans every year. That was cut back over the years to basically down to $5,000. We take that money, we were fortunate enough just last week, we got a 1% extra check from the county that was found money this year of $69,000 and change. So that goes into our general fund, so I'm proposing utilizing that money, earmarking that money with the $5,000, and we're just about right there. So we do have this covered. There is no additional tax that we're going to be hitting the taxpayer, but of course it is expensive, as we know. So I need permission from the board for me to sign this agreement, and then I will give it to GPI if you want me to, and then they'll start the process of getting all that information. So I need a motion if you want me to do that. If you have questions, go ahead.
I got a few questions.
Sure.
Scott, how long does it take for a grant for this kind of application to mature? In other words, when we put it in, when is this thing going to mature? I mean, what's the normal?
The grant procedure?
Yeah, no, not the grant.
Or how long do we have it after we get it?
How long does it take
To
a grant
get
to
it.
mature? I mean, is it?
once, the grants are weird. So the grants will take, it could take 2 years to get to the point where they say, okay, the money can be released, right? Like Jerry had the problem with the car, but that was because senators change and all that. What happens is you go through the whole procedure, you get the approval, then there's a whole load of paperwork that has to be sent to them. Once it gets through Ways and Means, and they say, okay, monies can be released, then you have acquisitions that you could put in up to like as many as you want, like 10,000, 50,000, whatever it is, right? That comes back fairly quick. It's the beginning process that could take up to 2 years. Once you get that okay, and they say you could start submitting your acquisitions, the checks come like every 30 days. So just like with the Tomback money that I've been submitting, every check, every acquisition that I requested to them, I got the check back in 30 days because we're already in that phase that you could get the money. And the monies are usually good for up to 7 years, 5 to 7 years, depending on, and then if you write a letter and give your reasons why, they usually will extend it too. It's kind of, that's, again, going back to Jerry in the vehicle with Senator Larkin's grant, that's what happened there. So to answer your main question, it really takes about 2 years to get to the point where the money will be allocated. And then it's 30 days after that for every submittal.
And the odds of getting this grant? I mean, they could say...
Could say no, they could say yes, they could say yes right away, they could say it's 50-50. It's, what I'm asking for more than just a grant, it's a member item. So each member of the Senate, each member of the Assembly gets member item money, it's called. That's direct monies they're allowed to bring back to their communities that they represent. Those are a lot easier than the whole granting process. The granting process itself is a lot harder. Member item money is a lot quicker to get. That's the money we got from Senator Frank Skartatos, from Assemblyman Jacobson, and Senator Skoufis. Those were member item grants. They're still considered a grant, but they're member item grants. Those are numbers, so at budget time, they get like, whatever their number is, just to say they get $10 million to allocate back to their community. That money's already earmarked in the budget, so it's ready to go. And then they have to allocate it to whom they decide is most worthy. Now, the people that normally get that are the people that have these plans in place, right? That's why the first thing they ask me is, do you have a shovel-ready job? Well, no, I don't. So they're not going to give me nothing based on saying I want to renovate this building, right? So that's how they will then usually allocate the money. And a lot of times it's hard because, again, you could see the cost of doing these things, right? It costs you $75,000 to get to that point. So it's a big investment by this board, it's a big investment by the town to say, we're going to do this and basically hope that we get monies, right? So, but yeah, that's what it is.
I have one question in addition to the questions I've already asked.
Yes.
Do we allow our various engineers to bid on these projects?
We can. We only have 3, but we usually just select. They're all, I want to say they're pretty close in, because they bill by hourly rate. Mm-hmm. It's not like they're billing like most of them don't bill on a project per se, they bill on an hourly rate. So they say it's going to take me X amount of hours. So now where you can save is, yeah, you could say, one guy says it's only going to take me 1,000 hours, the other guy's going to say it takes me 1,500 hours, right? Mm-hmm. So there's where you're saving. The hourly rates are pretty much the same. But yeah, you can do that. You could ask the 3 of them to give you rates. I know I got Phil Bell working on Tomback building right now. He's our other main one, and GPR is our new engineer. That's why I went towards him in this project.
Who's the third one?
We still have, what's
Randy,
the other one that we always used?
The one in Newburgh?
Oh, God, I can't remember their name off the top of my head.
McGooey Hauser, that's all?
Yes, McGooey Hauser, yes. So we haven't used them in a long, long time. Last project we used them on, I believe, was the train station a while back.
We've been using Phil Bell mostly.
So we've been using Phil Bell. But your answer to your question is yes, we could do it that way. Anything else?
I just felt that it's a little high than it's been. I mean, we're talking about 20% instead of 10% of the project, which was what it usually be.
Well, I don't know what the project's really going to be.
No, I'm just saying even with the Tomback building, which you out of it, that's 20%.
Oh, the Tomback building is, well, we spent $209,000 at Tomback, so yeah. We spent 200,000 at 200,000 at the pier for engineering. We spent 200, this is...
The pier was more.
But I'm just saying, this is what, I'm not happy about. Engineering costs are just very high, right? I mean, this is like, unfortunately, over the years, I could tell you, this is who makes the money mostly is the engineers and the architects. We've been through, I know when I first got on the board and we started looking at the town hall move, I was like dumbfounded by how much money was spent by the town boards over the years on engineering and just looking into Tomback and looking into rebuilding Tomback and then moving it. It was hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, yeah, are we taking a shot that we're going to get this grant? Yes, but I want to move forward. But again, you guys got to agree with it, so that's up to you. So, I'm going to make a motion that we move forward on this contract. I just need a second. So, if anybody wants a second.
I'll second.
And I need Colleen to roll call.
Councilman Zambito,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sessa,
No. Let's vote the way you want.
What did she say?
I'm going to vote no, not on the basis of not wanting the project. I do think the project is important and should move forward, but my vote is no for the moment, in hopes that we could explore some other engineering bids.
Yes.
Wait a second. So are we voting for Bell or are we going to vote?
No.
We're
Voting
voting
for GP.
Voting for me to sign this contract or not?
So you're voting for this?
Correct.
I'm going to vote no for the same reasons I had already discussed with Scott about getting other bids on it privately, so.
All right. It's up to you, man. It's up to you, man.
I'm going to vote yes.
Okay, so that's 3-2. I will sign it and I will get it to GPI and they'll start their procedure. Thank you, board, and thank you for your votes because that's what it's about. We don't always agree on everything, and that's what's good. So here's the agreement with Tittenbaum for the Milton Landing fire damage assessment. That's not that. So this is Brandy Nelson, our engineer. This is her specialty. So this is what she does. We don't have any other engineers that do this. Not to say we couldn't go out and try to find one, but any doubt, this is her estimate, and basically we would get billed, the insurance company would reimburse. That's how we're proceeding right now. If I could get that changed, I will, but regardless, the contract is with the town of Marlborough, and I would have to need permission to sign this agreement. It's for all the work that has to be done up to and through construction, reconstruction of that North Pier. You guys went through it. Her amount is $19,950, and it's billed invoice monthly. So you only get billed as they work. Again, usually hourly. That's how they bill it. So I need a motion to sign this agreement with Tittenbaum.
I have a couple of questions before
Sure.
you do that. So basically, the insurance company doesn't have to agree with, if we don't get someone to agree to what she's, like bid on it, and the insurance company says it's too much money, they don't want to spend it.
No. They already have this estimate from her, and there's no.
No, I'm talking about
Or-
this, I'm talking about the whole project.
But the project's different. We haven't got to that part yet. So they already know it has to be bid out.
Okay.
So they know it has to go to the lowest bid.
So
So
basically, we're in it for $2,500.
our
Deductible.
deductible is $2,500 on this, on our insurance policy. So yes, what this should cost us is $2,500. Are we going to have to lay out the money first? Yes. And do we get reimbursed? Yes. Now, again, this is $19,950 for just engineering services up to and through the bid process and everything. The insurance company understands as a town, it's going to obviously be over $20,000, $30,000 for them. So it's going to be a bid process. and they know that she's going to give an estimate, their insurance company's give an estimate, and then they come to an agreement. That doesn't mean what the bid is going to agree to what they, so that's built into the insurance company's numbers, that they know it could be more. So what I'm trying to find out from them is, do we just have a cutoff date? So say they're only going to give us, I don't know, I'm just going to throw a number, and it doesn't mean we're getting this, but just say it's $200,000 they're going to give us for this damage. And we go and bid it out, and it's $300,000. My assumption is we got to make up the difference. It's like any other insurance. There's a maximum. But I'm trying to get that out of Nathan right now, right? We don't have replacement value, just so you guys know.
I have a question. The question is, what did Gail say? Was the structure damage compromised or just?
I can't tell you what's because they haven't gave us the engineering report back yet.
Okay, so we physically, our guys, Gail.
Well, it's not Gail, it's our engineering
It's
firm.
the engineer.
Our in-house report, so I mean, is it structurally damaged or is it just?
I don't know. That's what, Brandy Nelson is our in-house structural engineer.
We don't have anybody that works at the town.
So right
itself.
now, look, they have work they have to do, but they don't want to do the work till they know that they're getting paid, right? So this is the agreement for them to actually do that report, right? They know, they went out to the site, they did all their pictures, they did all their assessments, they got all the things they need, but they won't move forward with giving us and giving the insurance company anything until they know they're going to get paid, right? So that's what this agreement is, right? They have to sign an agreement with the town that they could actually do this work. Once they get their engineering report, which should take a week, then I could share it with you, and I'll share it with, obviously, she shares it with the insurance company, and then the insurance company has their own investigators who do the same thing. So, it's like, correct. Yeah. Yeah, this is all paid for by, this engineer is all going to be paid for by insurance. It's just, we have to, we hire the person, right?
Supervisor, one question I have. Because this is a loss of the insurance claim, are we positive we have to go to a bid process? For an example, I lost under a total loss of police car, relatively new one, $30,000.
Right.
I didn't have to go to the bid process because it's an insurance
Loss.
replacement loss.
I could ask Jerry that.
Find out, because that was
Yeah.
the process when the repairs are ready to go.
Yeah.
You may not have to bid that.
Yeah, I'll ask Jerry Kamanos that question. That's a good question. My assumption was we would have to. That's what we talked about with them, but you're right. Maybe if it's a total loss, we don't have to. That would be nice. So then we know the number. But my only fear here is that regardless where we go, if they only settle on a number and it's not enough to cover what we really need to do, then we got to decide as a board, do we just do the bare minimum to get by, or do we try to make it right? So when we get to that point, then we could get to that point. This is something that obviously is covered by insurance, and we'll get a report back. So any other questions?
Okay, thank you.
All right, I just need a motion to be able to sign this agreement with Tenenbaum Engineering.
I'll make that motion.
No second.
And Carl, can you roll the board again?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So here's our long-awaited priority docking agreement with American Cruise Line. We're like cutting it right down to the wire here. But I can tell you, I personally, I have a lot of hours into this agreement, but it was well worth it because in the end, I think we hopefully got a good agreement. Could it be more? Yes. But I think the board kind of, I think I broke it down, but, and Mark, you have this agreement now, but I'll give you some, the people that are listening, some of what's going on. So this priority agreement is with American Cruise Line down at the Milton Pier. The initial term of the contract agreement is 20 years. They have an option, 2 option years for 5 years each, so they could get up to 30 years in this contract. How it first starts out is to have a priority agreement, meaning they get to book all their bookings in the month of January, prior to anybody else being able to book their dockings. For that, they have to pay an upfront money by August 31st of $25,000. At the beginning, that $25,000 gives them 25 dockings. So obviously, simple math, that's $1,000 per docking. They have a right to get additional 10 dockings in that month, so they can go up to 35, but they would only pay those as they need them. But the original $25,000, regardless if they book 10 bookings only that year or they book 12 bookings that year, they got to pay $25,000. Every other year, that $25,000 payment goes up by $1,000. So year 2 it goes to 26, year 4 it goes to 28, and so on and so forth. So it goes up. So by the end of 25 years, they're basically about $35,000 for that annual payment, but it's still only for 25 bookings at that point. So of course it's more than $1,000 at that point for those. The additional 10 bookings are always still at $1,000. In addition to that, in the first term extension of 5 years, the first year's payment will go back to 35. It'll be at 35,000, but we're going to allow them now 35 bookings at that. So we're going to incentivize them to re-sign and put their payment back to $1,000 per booking. Again, they have an additional 10 if they want after that, which is also $1,000 per booking. Every subsequent year after that, it goes up $500. So it does go up a little, kind of like the lights are going up and down now, every year. If they get to the second term 5 year, it starts out at $37,000 for 37 bookings. And then they could get up to an additional 13 at $1,000 per. Every second year, it goes up $500. In addition to that, they'll be paying, in the first term, they're paying $1,000 for all our legal fees, which I believe that's probably going to be more than what we actually spent, but it'll be somewhere around there. They're paying $5,000 in total towards some of the bumper system and the tie-down system for the cleats. So they're paying upfront fees there. And in 2022, this year, they're paying the $25,000 fee as of now, if we agree to sign this contract. And so far this year, they only have 12 bookings. So they'll be paying $25,000 plus $6,000 in total, so a total of $31,000 if we sign this agreement right now. And as of right now, they only have 12 bookings. So right now, we're getting a lot of upfront costs, and that's why they're getting priority booking. Now, after January 31st, any other cruise line or expedition or boat tours or even American Cruise Line, if they want to book any spots at the pier, all bookings are going to go through my office. Tina Rosa is going to be considered the dock master, who's my secretary, so she's taken on that role, and she has a book, and every booking is $1,000. So American Cruise Line set the number for us by going to 1,000. Just an update on where we were at. Most bookings along Hudson River are anywhere from $3 to $4 per foot. All right, so American Cruise Line ships about 200 feet, so typically they would pay about $800. I requested that it's $5, so we're at the 1,000. So we got a little more up front, I think. Again, yes, in the long run, could we have asked for even more stuff? Maybe, but we're trying to, be good neighbors here too, and hopefully this whole deal works out for the 30 years. At minimum, if they went 30 years, we're somewhere in the 800 plus thousand number. If they go the full term with all the maximums, we're in the 1.25, I think it was, somewhere around there, 1.25 million that they could actually pay out if they used every single part of this contract. So we have a $1.2 million bond on this pier, American Cruise Line is going to be a huge part of paying this off every year. So the money that we receive from them and from other cruise lines is going to go directly into the account that we'll be paying. That'll be the revenue that we receive to offset the bond payment every year. So that's kind of like the breakdown. Do you guys have any other questions about it?
I do.
As you get into the next two extensions, there's $2,000 payments for attorney fees. Did I miss anything else? Hold on, Eddie. I got all the deeds. They want the deeds for the property. We have all that. They have insurance. These insurance numbers were given to us by our insurance company. This is what they require. They have to have that on there. Any upgrades or updates that they do to the pier, if they need to do updates to the pier, have to be approved by the town. But any upgrades that they do on the pier are now the property of the town. Okay? They will be needing of fresh water. We will be putting in a meter that they'll be paying for, and they'll be paying the metered cost for all their water that they use. So it won't cost us anything. They're going to pay for all that too.
It's going to cost us to get it out there, though, right?
They're paying for that.
They are, okay.
They're paying for the hookup,
And
they're paying for the install, they're paying for the meter, and they're paying for the water used.
right now, they can't dock there without fixing the dock the way it's supposed to be, correct?
Yeah, they can. I mean, basically what we have to do
They're not
is...
going to put the fenders in, though, right?
No, there's simple fenders that we could use. So the fender system that were originally proposed back when this was built were built specifically for a specific ship that really is not going to be docking here. If it does, it's not going to be docking here for many, many, many years down the line. That fender system is extra pylons on either side, a combination of, I believe, 6 pylons. We're upwards of $900,000 for those pylons, and that's because you're putting them down 45 feet into the ground. You know, they're steel. They're very expensive.
So
What we did is we went around with them to some of their other piers that they currently dock at, and the things that they dock up against now are like, we're like the Taj Mahal, let's say, compared to what they have. They usually dock up against things of like nature of the North Pier that just burnt down. That's what they're docking up against. They have bumpers on their boats on the bottom and the top themselves, and so now we're able to put a very simple fender system in. There's 2 scenarios. We could put these Hichimoa fenders, they're called. I can't. Yokohamas. I can never say it right. I'm sorry. Apologize. That we were requesting. They're 3 foot wide by about 6 foot long. Coming to find out, if we do that, we may have problem with other cruise lines docking here because their ships won't be able to accommodate that type of fender system. So there's other fender systems. It's almost like a wooden pylon that's put across the bottom of the pier, and you could also put it at the top of the pier. So when they actually come in, they actually bump up against that. And Brandy says it's not going to damage our pylons at all. And then the tie downs, we're trying to do these tie downs that they do at some of their other piers. It's a chain and link up tie down, so we don't have to reconfigure the top part of the deck at all. So before we were going to have to probably reconfigure the decking, we were going to have to reconfigure the railing. There was a lot more work involved, but having them done this before and docked in many, many other areas. Again, just so you know, American Cruise Line is worldwide. It's not just Hudson River, okay? They're all over the place. And when I say when they're coming here, it's not just for a day tour. They have 4, 5, and 7 day tours up the Hudson River. So we're just one stop on their tour. Their tours are excursions are all done by them within house. Their docking and undocking is all done by them in-house. All transportation is done by them. All we are required to do is obviously maintain the side of the tracks that we own, that we're going to maintain it, right? So that they could get their cars in and out of there, which we're going to do anyway. So.
Do we have a price on what the fenders are going to cost us?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. It's no more, Brandy said everything combined is no more than $10,000 for everything right now with the simpler system.
Okay.
So Again, but they're paying upfront about $6,000 towards that. So
Well, if it's only 10,000, I'm okay.
there was an agreement, like, look, I wanted them to pay the entire amount, but I do get what their point. Their point is other people will be using those too, and we do. So look, to get this deal done, we negotiated. That's part of negotiations, right? So they'll be paying $6,000 towards that cost, and I think that's a fair deal. And
Do we have a date when they're going to be able to do the work to get them in there?
Charlie's starting tomorrow, if we agree with this. We'll be getting stuff starting this week.
Oh, we're installing it?
It's not that difficult.
How long is the stay per job?
Anywhere, well, for right now, the ones that they're booking are 8 to 10 hour stops. They get here like 5, 6, or 7 o'clock in the morning, and then they'll stay about 8 or 10 hours, depending on what they're doing. Other ones that they might do, like Libland excursions, are like 5 hours. It depends on what they're doing on their, because again, they're going up the Hudson River or just one stop, and then it depends on what excursion they're going to be doing. So, they might come here early. They're going to give their guests breakfast. They're going to go out on their excursions. Depending on the length of the excursions, they could come back for lunch or dinner, and then they're going to dock off by 7 or 8 o'clock at night. If they stay overnight, which right now they don't have any overnights, if they stay overnight, it's an additional $500 to stay overnight too. So that's in addition to this. Yeah. And right now, like I think Councilwoman Sesha asked this question, the days that they're coming, they're kind of all over. So it's not just weekends. They're Monday, they're Tuesday, they're Wednesday, they're Friday. So it's whenever they think they're going to dock in Marlborough or Milton, that's when they're hitting here. They plan on, the reason they're asking for more dates throughout the contract is because they see that this is going to grow. Hopefully it grows, because that's good for us, it's good for them. And then they'll be doing tours in June and July, August, not just in the seasonal time, which is now, right? So they want to actually do tours throughout the year. They have a lot of people that come into the city. They want to go up the Hudson River, because the Hudson River is a famous river worldwide. So it's not just city people, it's people from other countries that come on their cruise lines. They pay a good amount of money, and they want to see something that they've never seen before. So the town of Marlborough, the hamlet of Milton, is not only going to just be known by people that come from the city, but it's going to be known from people from other countries. So it'd be pretty cool that they're going to take pictures and come to some of our establishments within our communities and bring back to their countries what they experienced here in the Hudson Valley. So I think it's a pretty cool idea, and I think it's, I didn't know we would ever get here, but we're here. So, any other questions? All right, so all I need is a motion from you guys to sign this contract, and we'll poll the board, and we'll go from there.
I'll make that motion to sign the contract.
I'll second it.
And Kyle, can you poll the board?
Councilman Zambito.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sessa.
Yes.
Supervisor Corcoran.
Yes.
Councilman Romanelli.
Yes.
Councilman Cowkey.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, guys. Very exciting. All right, so we added item D, bid for the park baseball fences. Which one is that? Do I have it? Thought I had it up here. Oh, I just have it in my email. So you guys got this email. Thanks to Tom Corcoran. He went out and I asked him to get these estimates because, as everybody up here knows, Tommy knows a little bit about baseball. So, in the beginning of the year, the highway department and even the water department guys helped, and we expanded our fields up at the top of the Chiclewicz Park. And now we want to put up fencing to complete this, well, not complete it, because the next step is hopefully if we can get some monies to put some lighting up there also. But this is the next step into making these fields more usable fields by Marlborough Youth Baseball and others, and start possibly having tournaments. So Tommy went out and got some estimates. This is for 2 fences on both fields. The corners of the field will be 200 feet. Center field will be 210 feet. This has the black mesh fencing. It's 6 gauge fencing, which is a little heavier duty, so when kids go into it, it doesn't bend and get all banged up like you see in baseball fields. It also has the top and bottom metal piping, so it doesn't curl and it doesn't get wrecked, so it's a pretty good quality fence.
How does it stand up against four-wheelers?
Four-wheelers is a different story, really. But it'll actually hopefully cure some of the four-wheeling that goes on up there, because now they can't just go in circles. So it actually will help in that aspect too. So thanks, Ed. I didn't think about that. That's good. That's actually a good reason. So we got 3 estimates. A&M Fencing LLC for $22,626.10. Adams Fencing Inc. $23,885, and Frank Bertzel Fencing for $19,877. So Frank Bertzel is the low bid. We have used Frank in the past on other jobs in the town, so I do know his quality is good. I think everybody on this list quality is very good, but Frank Bertzel is the low bid. So I would need a motion to approve for us to move forward on awarding this estimate to Frank Bertzel Fencing. So if anybody would like to give a...
I'll make the motion to award the bid to Frank Bertzel Fence for $19,877.
He's got better eyes than me.
Can you see?
Yeah, I think that's right, Eddie. I'll second that motion.
And just before we go to the vote, this is all coming out of our park reserve fund, so we have the money. It's not that we're
I know we talked about
spending money. So, Carl, can you poll us?
Call us.
Councilman Zambito.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sessa.
Yes.
Supervisor Porter.
Yes.
Councilman Molinelli.
Yes.
Councilman Trafficante.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. We're getting there with that park. All right, letter E is a bid for blacktop at Town Park. Now, this one has been taken all year to get, and as you guys saw, we only have 1 bid. John has been trying his hardest. We do our due diligence to get 3 bids. That's part of the law, but it does say you got to have your due diligence to try. We cannot get other people to bid on these projects. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just the times. I mean, he's been having the same problem when he's bidding out for our roads. So we did finally get a bid, and it's from the Bella Seal Coating LLC. This is who John has used many times. Just used them recently after the water main break. Dom does a very good job. This is to do the Cluett Shantz Park. We're going to widen the lane as you come down from the top parking lot down to the pavilion. If you guys notice, it's very narrow, 9 feet, and it's got a lot of erosion on it. There's gravel always kicking up, and it's a trip hazard. It just needs to be done. It's been one of those things on the list, and finally got it here. So we're going to widen that to 15 feet. So if there are multiple cars, or when we have parades and stuff, and we have the fire trucks and that going on it, it's wide enough now. He's going to take out the 6-inch item, 4 and 2-inch binder, flush existing laneway, resurface the entire laneway to the picnic area going down the hill. And then he's going to, if you guys come into the park lately, and you make the first, as you come into the park and make the left to the playground area and the bathroom area, you could see that the road is deteriorated. There's potholes. It's ripped up. So we got to rip up that entire road all the way to the fence past the garage. So that main whole road's got to be repaved, and then we're gonna pave more up to the garage to make more parking for people to park by the bathrooms and the playground. So the whole side of the garage area will now have additional parking. So I believe we're going to get an additional 3 or 4 parking spots, but it's a little more. But that whole area needs to be redone. Again, this is $24,700 would be coming out of our park reserve funds, which we do have, and they're there to actually maintain the park. So this is exactly what it's there for. So if you guys want to move forward, again, I need a motion and a roll call of the board.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right, Kyle.
Yes.
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 Thank you, guys. Okay. I got to do some correspondence quick here. All right, so some of these are for the softball field. Hi, this is Bob Tempsetti, coach of the Debs softball team. I want to first thank you for allowing us to use the fields to practice on with our girls. I wanted to reach out to ask if I can continue to reserve the fields through the fall, Sunday, 10 a.m. to 12. Also, I was wondering if the Saturday, September 10th, if the field would be available. I would assume he got it because it's passed. 9 a.m. to 1 for a scrimmage. If it's okay with you, continue. We have no problem helping maintain the fields and our volunteer work as needed. Thank you again for your help, and keep the girls doing what they do and love. This was sent to Colleen, and I know she looked at it, and my concern was I know Marlborough Youth Baseball is starting to use the fields, and I believe it's worked out, Colleen? Yeah. There was a...
That's the 10th, yeah.
Yeah.
So they didn't get the 10th.
Yeah, so basically Colleen told him what was not available and what is available, because we already previously gave the okay for Marlborough Youth Baseball to use it, which is great. So this is why we're doing what we're doing. People are actually starting to use these fields again. So I just need a motion to allow them to use the remaining dates that are available. And this is for the Duchess Debs. I just need a motion.
I'll make that motion for the Duchess Debs to use the upper baseball and softball fields on the dates requested.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. So moved. Supervisor Corcoran, Town Board, the Marlborough High School varsity football team has an away football game on Saturday, October 8th, 2022. It has been our tradition to have a pre-game dinner the night before games to bring the students athletes together. The location of dinner varies weeks to week. With this said, we would therefore ask to use the Town Park Pavilion on Friday, October 7th, 2022 from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. and host this event, and ask that the Town Board waive the fees associated with the rental. If you have any questions regarding the above, require additional information, I would require my assistance in whatever manner, please do not hesitate to ask. Thank you for your consideration. This is from Marlborough High School varsity coach and staff Thomas Corcoran. So they're asking to use October 8th, the Marlborough High School varsity football team. I need a motion if you want to waive the fee.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Yep.
All right, here we go, Jerry. Dear Chief Jerry Kokoza, and this is a weird one, just so when I read this to you guys. Is this the one that's weird? No, not this one. Well, please accept this letter of notice of my resignation from my position as police officer. I received an offer from Orange County Sheriff's Office. My last day of employment will be September 1st, 2022. It has been a pleasure working for you in the department. Thank you again for the opportunity to work for Marlborough Police Department. I wish you and the officers all the best, and I look forward to staying in touch with you. Please feel free to email at any time and call me. Sincerely, Miguel Acacia.
So that was the weird one. Miguel got this offer back in December.
Yeah.
Didn't want to leave here in case that didn't work out. So it has worked out. I've been in communication with them and asked them to. The letter, the original letter came here in December. I
Yeah.
said, that's not the date of resigning, it's now. So now you have one for September.
Yeah, Jerry sent me the first letter, said December. I'm like, well, December is a long time ago. It's like, it's okay, you updated it, then that's good. So here, we lost another good officer, but, They like picking off our Marlborough officers because we do a good job, so that's why we're going to hopefully hire some more tonight, right? September 1st, 2022. This is from Kathy Sylvester, and it's to Supervisor Corcoran and the Town Board. Dear Supervisor Corcoran, Town Board, on behalf of Frank Alexander and all of the line dancers who participated, I would like to thank you and the board for graciously allowing us to use the Cluett Chance Park Pavilion for our summer line dance program. There was a great turnout and everyone enjoyed the line dance, and I would ask you and the board to consider adding the summer line dance program back into the budget for next year. The summer line dance program have been in the budget for prior years. Mr. Alexander would be interested in running the program again in 2020-23. And he gives me his phone number. She gives me his phone number, and that's from Kathy Sylvester. So line dancing did come back. They did a great job. Kathy pushed for it. She got Mr. Alexander to do it. He did a great job from all accounts, from everybody. They had a great time. It was very successful. So again, we'll be discussing that in our budget. Basically, it was taken out of the budget. We used to give
Cactus
Pete X amount of dollars to run this, and they wouldn't charge anybody for anything. This year, we did a little differently because there was nothing in the budget, but we wanted them to utilize the facility and do the program. They paid him a little every time they went. To be honest with you, I kind of like that better because, you know, he makes some money. We don't have to worry about it. He manages it, but...
Scott, can we just reply to her and
Oh, yeah.
ask for counts on how many people attended each session, so you have that when we budget?
And how much
She
he's
told
gonna
me, she
charge.
said at least 30.
There
Each
wasn't
month?
that many.
Great.
Yeah.
That's
I'm there
great.
Monday nights.
She
with
said
Bob.
30, she
Yeah.
said. And she said, and I know one person who loved it, Tom Schroeder. Every night he was there. So, well, except for the night that he was away, and Colleen didn't unlock the door for. Oh God. So no, it was good. Yeah, but she said she had told me
30.
they got at least about 30, which was
That's great.
that's pretty good. So, but I will respond back to her that the board says thank you. It's good to get some thank you backs, right?
Yeah.
All right, so just to give you guys an update, we did get our Town of Marlborough Local Law 7, 2022 was filed on September 2nd, 2022, and it was filed with the state, and so it's all good to go. So we got that today. And one other thing I will tell you that happened today, finally, after months and months and months and months and months of asking, we will be getting our $313,000 check for the pier, that was supposedly cut today, so we shall be receiving that from New York State Economic Development Council. So we thank them. I thank our Arlene, and so yeah, so that's good news too. And we're going to take that money and reuse it real quick. So, but it came at a good time. Okay, so public comments. Anybody else got any public comments? Anybody besides Mark? No. Go ahead, Mark.
I just had a couple of quick questions. Scott, when you were talking about the GPI design company,
Yep.
is the town required to get 3 quotes or no?
No, not for these services because we appoint them at reorg. So as they're appointed as our engineers at reorg, we could just
Oh,
hire
I
them.
see.
direct.
Sometimes we only have one or
Yep.
two.
Right, right. And then when you talked about getting 1% from the county, was that the county sales tax?
County scales tax, yep. So they had, remember the agreement that they had, if they went over a certain amount at the county, that all the municipalities then would share an
Right.
additional 1% from the normal 1% that we
Which
get.
you were fighting to get
And we were
back.
fighting that to get that because the county, not the county legislator, county executive office was trying to renege on that agreement. Kudos to all our legislators. Legislator Corcoran fought for this for us, and the legislators did fight for us, and they did get it for all the municipalities, and we did receive a check for over $69,000 this past week from that
Okay.
extra 1%. And the good news is, I believe this year too, they added it in. They fought so much, they added in to keep it in for this year again. So if they go over that threshold, and I don't know the number off the top of my head, we will receive an additional 1% shared throughout the
Right,
community,
right, right.
municipalities. So it was a nice little windfall.
I had one other question. When you mentioned in the beginning about executive session, you talked about wanting to talk about, was it Bayside or Dockside?
This is Dockside. I got some legal stuff that came back from us that I got to update the board on, and I got to ask Charlie Majeo to come in on because he's our water superintendent.
It's costs of what the sewer
Some of it's
fees would be?
contractual stuff it's contractual stuff with our reservation agreement and possible numbers that we would actually put in there. But there's going to be no.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because there are very specific things that you can go into executive for, and I
Yep.
don't think you can go into executive when you're talking about a contract, talking about water sewer amounts.
I can go into executive session based on my attorney privilege to go into executive session. That I'm
The
talking
attorney
about
has to
my
be
attorney.
here. If it's attorney-client,
I'm talking on direct from my attorney. I'm updating my board. I'm not talking publicly, and I'm going to take them into executive session.
can you tell me which number is
No,
it under?
I
There's
cannot.
8 of them.
I cannot. That's why I'm not.
No, I mean, there's
discussing.
8 things that you can say, I'm going under for this reason,
I'm
number
going to
1.
executive session to talk about attorney feedback on the Dockside project reservation. That's what
Okay.
I'm going to executive session for.
All right, thanks.
Yep. All right. Anybody else?
So, Scott, this is not necessarily a public comment, but just a quick update to the board that the artwork at the town park that we approved the Girl Scouts to do has been done on the walkway. If you haven't gotten there to see it, it goes up the walkway sort of from the pavilion toward the hill, and it looks great. Actually, I looked at it, and it looks even better than the sketches that we saw over the summer, so it's getting good feedback so far. The only thing that we need to do to complete that project is advise Jasmine, who's the Girl Scout, on what type of sign we'd like her to put there to explain. So we can discuss that offline, but that's the only outstanding item, and then she will come back and give us a full presentation to the board.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, it looked pretty cool. I just hope that, get a little slope there. I hope people could actually do some of the stuff, but it looks good. And then it's a nice area, right? It's clean, so, which is
I
good.
actually talked to her about seeing if there was a possibility to extend it further, because
Yeah,
there's such a long walkway there, but
Oh, yeah, it's a long, and we just redid that blacktop a couple of years ago, so it's good. Anybody else? All right, then we're going to get into Resolution 78. Resolution 78 is to appoint full-time court clerk. So you guys know we've had a rec out there, advertisement, since Michelle left, and we finally were able to get somebody here. So Supervisor Court proposes the following: whereas the town of Marlborough Court has an opening for a full-time court clerk, and whereas the town of Marlborough Judge Crazier interviewed for the position for a full-time court clerk, and whereas it is a recommendation of Judge Crazier that the town board appoint Josephine Scacciafario as a full-time court clerk. Now therefore it be resolved that Josephine Scacciafario be appointed as full-time court clerk effective September 28th, 2022, and moves for its adoption.
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you, and good luck to Josephine. Hopefully it works out good. All right, Resolution 79 to appoint part-time police officers. So we're doing multiples in one resolution. Supervisor Corcoran proposes the following: whereas the town of Marlborough Police Department has an open position for part-time police officers, and whereas the Public Committee has interviewed for the position of part-time police officers, and whereas the recommendation of the Police Committee and the Chief of Police to appoint the following part-time police officers: Cole Nicholas, Bryant Hunt, Alexandria Martins, and Akron Gorhan, is that how you say it, Jerry? Arkeen, he was great.
The only one we didn't interview was Nicholas, right?
No, I did.
Oh, you didn't.
Yep.
The date wasn't available. He was available for the date that you were available.
Oh, you should have told me. I know Cole.
He's excellent. He's excellent.
He's in Highland now, right? Yeah.
Excellent. Be it resolved that the above officers are appointed effective immediately, and moves for its adoption.
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, I need to have, I'm going to take a motion to go into executive session. I'm going to ask Superintendent Charlie Maggio to come in. We will be not making any decisions. I'm updating the board per my attorney and engineering on the Layton Properties Dockside Reservation Agreement on, and we're going to go into executive sessions. I need a second.
I'll second.
And that's at 8:31.